Toy Story 5. That is surreal to say. If you'd have told me back in the day that we'd get to a Toy Story 5, I'd never have believed you. But even more surreal than that is that Pixar have done it again. Toy Story 5 is terrific. The Toys versus Technology storyline delivers, and it's really relevant in today's day and age with kids prioritizing tablets and phones over toys. And it makes this a relevant Toy Story film to do because it was an inevitable confrontation with our characters meeting technology. So it doesn't feel like the franchise is running out of steam or running out of ideas. This is literally the perfect modern day story to do for a new Toy Story. And in classic Pixar fashion, they make it emotionally engaging because Bonnie in here is such a cute, endearing, lovable character because she's really shy. She wants to play with toys, she wants to use her imagination, but kids around her are just burying their heads in their tablets. So you really feel for her to make some friends. And then when she starts kind of going down some wrong paths via the technology by just going to these friends who are just, tablet, and not playing with toys. You're just kind of rooting for the toys to kind of steer her in the right direction and not follow Lilypad's direction that she's taken her on. But I appreciated how this film does not completely vilify technology. It's not cut and dry, black and white, toys are good, technology bad. Kids should not have tablets, kids should not have phones or anything like that. It does illustrate that technology can actually be useful for kids, like for education, or making an initial connection with a friend request, but using that to go into an actual friendship in person. So I appreciated the film taking that nuanced approach with the technological themes, and thus Lilypad is not really a villain. She's not a bad guy. She wants what the toys want. She wants what's best for Bonnie, but she has her own way of going about it, and it just clashes with the toys' ideology. And there's kind of an underlying message of learning to try and work together to achieve the same common goal, and it's not shoved in your face. It's something that you kind of connect the dots yourself, so that's always a big plus. As far as the characters go, love them once again. Jessie is the protagonist of this film, which they hinted at in the trailer, and it was really cool to see. She's the leader of the toys. It was great to see her get such a big showcase, and there's also an emotional tie-in to her backstory in Toy Story 2, which was really satisfying and emotionally satisfying as well. Buzz Lightyear is as cool as ever. I love the army of the malfunctioning Buzz Lightyears that appeared throughout the film. They were entertaining. Woody is back, and does Woody's return compromise the ending of Toy Story 4? Not whatsoever, because I would equate it to the ending of 4 is like a really good friend moving away and starting a new life, but it's not like you're never going to see him again. He's still going to come back and visit every now and again, and Woody coming back here is that friend coming back to visit and him trying to help out with their problem with technology. And it was great to see Woody again. He's more of a side character in this film. He's just there helping out. But you can't have a Toy Story film without Woody, so it was great to see him again. And I must say, Bullseye, trustiest steed in cinema history right there. One of the bummers of this film, like Toy Story 4, is that some of the classic side characters like Rex, Mr. Potato Head, Slinky, and Ham do get pushed in the background in here. They don't have a lot of screen time, they have very little dialogue, and they were some of my favourite characters from the original 3 films, especially Rex. I love that character. But they don't really do anything in the story. They just kind of get left in the bedroom whilst Woody, Buzz, and Jessie go out on the adventure. My only other gripe with Toy Story 5 is that there's quite a lot of poop jokes in this film, courtesy of one of the new characters, Mr. Smarty Pants, who's a potty training device, so it makes sense for his character. And there are a couple of funny jokes and a couple of clever ones, but still it's poop jokes. Quite a lot of them, and I just could have done without the, barrage of poop jokes. And of course, what would a Toy Story film be without the heart and the feels? There are a couple of scenes in here that I felt the feels big time. There is one scene towards the end of the film, which I will not spoil, but I actually teared up because it was just so unbelievably heartwarming. I loved it. I adored it. The film is so good, and I'm just so happy. I walked out of that cinema last night smiling and just feeling good inside because we got to Toy Story 5 and Pixar are still delivering with this franchise. They've still got stories to tell, and they show no signs of delivering mediocrity with this IP. And it's got to be the most consistent film franchise of all time. I'm just so happy.